Intermediate actions. Now you've already gotten a very basic handle on rhythm. You can at least execute quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes cleanly to an extent. Now you need to start building up your rhythmic vocabulary. So action item number 1 is going to be able to execute the ultimate rhythm exercise. So I have done a video on this before, the ultimate rhythm exercise, and it's a super duper important exercise that teaches you how to play basically every single combination of 16th note rhythms that exists. So I'm not going to go over the whole thing right now because that will be at least an extra 20-minute long video, but check out the ultimate rhythm exercise, my video that I have on that, so you can learn a little bit more about that. So once you've gotten the ultimate rhythm exercise down, and that'll probably take you a little bit, so you could just practice that every day. Once you get that down, then you have to start practicing using each rhythm cell in the ultimate rhythm exercise. So soloing either A, over a drum track like I've been showing you, or B, over a backing track. So for example, if I was going to solo over a drum track, just off the top of my head, I'm going to play one of the rhythm cells from the ultimate rhythm exercise. So it's actually cell number 14, and it's this rhythm that sounds like this. Da 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 da. So I can execute it with just one note at first because I just want to think about the rhythm. So here's one note. And now once I'm comfortable playing with one note, now I got to change the notes so that I'm actually soloing. You know, soloing is not just going to be with one note the whole time. So and then going through that exact same thing with all of the different cells in that ultimate rhythm exercise, super duper important. At that point, your rhythm's already going to be like way better than most people, okay? Way better than actually a lot of people who consider themselves advanced. But then we're going to get to number 3 in the intermediate actions, which is playing all the diatonic triads in the key of C major on all string sets. So if you look at my video, it's called What is a Key in Music? This will talk about the diatonic triads in the key of C major, and I've talked about it on a lot of other videos as well. But you should know all of the chords that you can build in the key of C major. So those would be C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and then B diminished. So being able to play all of those, and not only just play them in one place, but play them in all string sets. Okay, so for example, that's just one string set. It's 3 strings, the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string. But you should also be able to play them on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, and then also on the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string, and then also the 6th, 5th, and 4th string. So not only do we have to learn these things, but as guitar players, we have to learn how to play them in multiple spots. Yeah, I know it sucks, but get over it. That's part of being a guitar player. That's what we get for being able to just move a shape up a fret and change it to the key of C sharp or something like that. Everything's a trade-off with different instruments. There's certain things that are easier to do on guitar. There's certain things that are harder to do on guitar. One of the things of guitar is that you have to learn all the concepts that you are introduced to in all areas of the fretboard, okay? Don't complain about it, just do it. All the pros just do it, and they just learn it the right way, and that's the end of that. So learning diatonic triads in the key of C major on all string sets in root position, okay? We'll talk more about that in a second. So once you've done that, then you should actually do this in all keys. That's actually step number 6, but we're going to get there to doing it in all keys. So once you've gotten pretty comfortable with those inversions, then, with those triads, then we're going to get to step 4, which is practicing C major triads in all inversions across the neck. So now I don't mean the key of C major, I mean actual C major chord. So C major, C, E, G, literally a C major chord. So watch my video called The Right Way to Learn C Major Triads. That will show you how to do this. So you got to know all of your inversions: root position, first inversion, and second inversion, just of the C major chord, okay? So then number 5 is, once you've figured out those inversions, then you have to do all your diatonic triads in all inversions in the key of C major. So for example, the one that we just did, the diatonic triads, was just root position. But there's also first inversion. So C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, E diminished, C major. That was a first inversion. All of the chords were in first inversion. And then actually on that same string set, you can also do them in second inversion. So this is what it looked like in second inversion. So be able to do all 3 inversions, root position, first and second, on all string sets. So you can actually do all 3 of those on each string set. So there's 4 different string sets you can do them on, and there's 3 different inversions you can play. So it's actually a total of 12 different ways that you can play the diatonic triads in the key of C major on the guitar fretboard. There's 3 on each string set, and there's 4 string sets. And then once you've done that, then you should get really, really comfortable with number 6, which is doing that same thing in all keys. So doing the diatonic triads in all 12 keys, all inversions, and all string sets. So can you do, for example, if I tell you, hey, play all your diatonic triads in the key of E flat major in second inversion on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings. So it's E flat major, F minor, G minor, A flat major, B flat major, C minor, D diminished, and then E flat major, right? And then of course, like I said, actually soloing with those over a track. So this kind of thing. And then as you're going along too, we're going to get to sort of the most important part of all of this. Once you've gotten all these fundamentals down, which you can see, all this is basically learning fundamentals after fundamentals after fundamentals. Then we're going to get to step 7. Okay, so once we can do all that stuff in all keys, we need to actually practice soloing over different backing tracks using only triads. Why? Because the triads are the notes that sound the best, guys. On a chord, if I'm playing on a C major chord and I play the notes that are found in a C major chord, those are going to be the notes that sound the best. So let's put on a backing track, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to play a solo that uses only notes from the triads of the chord. This is actually going to be, you've heard this track before, a 1, 5, 6, 4 in the key of C. So C major, G major chord, A minor chord, and then an F major chord. And I'm going to play a solo using only triads. I'm going to try to use all the ones I know all over the entire neck. So that's a solo with only triads, right? You can get a lot of mileage out of triads, guys. It's all about the freaking triads. That's how you create cool melodies. Okay, they always sound good. When the G major chord happens, I'm playing the notes from the G major triad. When the A minor chord happens, I'm playing the notes from the A minor triad. When the F major chord happens, I'm playing the notes from that chord, okay? That's the freaking bread and butter, okay? That makes you know for an absolute fact that what you're playing is going to sound good over the backing track you're playing on, okay? So once you've gotten really comfortable with that, then we add back in both our major scale and then also, if we want to, our pentatonic scale, okay? So I'm going to solo over the same exact backing track. Doing step number 8, I'm going to be thinking about now not just the triads, but then if I want to, I can just play the key of C major. Remember, we're in the key of C major. So I can just play the scale if I want to, but now I'm gonna have kind of a different perspective on things because now I know where those really juicy triad notes are. So let's try that. So triads, scale. But I'm still trying to highlight those triad notes when the chords change. You can even add notes that are not in the key. You can add notes that are outside of the key because you always know that you can come back to those triads and it's going to sound freaking amazing, okay? Super duper, super important to get that down. Okay, so of course, if you can do all this stuff, you're already sounding really, really good. But step number 9 is actually to execute steps 3 to 8 using all 12 minor keys. Now, minor keys are a little bit different than major keys. I know that I was talking about the minor pentatonic scale. It's basically you start from the 6th note of a major scale, okay? But with minor keys, okay, we are starting a major scale from the 6th note. So for example, I'm going to start the C major scale from an A note. So we got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And now when you do this, we are going to think of A as our new like 1. It's like our minor 1, the first note. So we're kind of reframing how we're thinking about it. So now you have like 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. But in minor keys, typically, what we do is we use something called the harmonic minor scale. Now, I know I'm blowing over this, but this is something that we'll talk about more in the future, where we raise the 7th now from G to G sharp. So you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A. Why is that? Because the 5 chord is the most important part. So now our new 5 chord is actually going to be E7. E7 takes us really nicely to A minor. And the E7 has, what do you know it? A G sharp note in it. So that's basically the main difference between just regular natural minor and harmonic minor is that we have that raised 7th scale degree. So you want to be able to start getting comfortable with that and start getting comfortable with all the diatonic triads that you get when you have a harmonic minor scale. So I'm just going to show you a really quick example of soloing over a backing track that's in a minor key. So this is in a B flat minor, the key of B flat minor. So you hear that harmonic minor sound there. So you can hear there's a big difference when you have that extra, it's just literally one note that changes when we're thinking about minor keys. But even if you don't get to minor keys, that's okay. You're going to be sounding amazing over almost everything if you get all this stuff with major keys. Okay, so once you're done practicing all the stuff in this video, make sure you go check out the advanced video, which is shown right here on the screen. And if you need in-depth help with learning all the stuff that I talked about in this video, make sure you head on over to Jamsville.com and check out the Jamsville GPS Fretboard Fundamentals course. Until next time, listen, learn, and jam.